Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Ellen. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your support. Baby boomers, does that equal freedom? So, there are a few things I'd like to tackle today. And one is us being a certain age. Does that mean that we now get to do what we want to do? So, I'm sure that all of you had some dreams at one point to say, okay, once I'm retired, once I'm at a certain age, I'm going to finally be able to do whatever I want. The second point would be the actual freedom from responsibilities. Um, I don't mean work, obviously. We are not doing that anymore, hopefully. But responsibilities that you find yourself having had back in the days, do you find that you now have the freedom to get away from that? Or perhaps number three would be, do you have too much free time? What do you do with your free time, right? There comes a lot of things into play here aside from finding a lot of time on your hands. And I want to discuss that with you. So if you find this video, and I'm going to have lots of great answers here, if you find this video interesting, please like and share. I always appreciate it, and I'm still trying to build my channel here, so thank you. Anyway, I would like for you to think of three things um, that you haven't been able to do while you are working. So I'm talking to baby boomers here. Most likely all of you are retired at this point or semi-retired due to a choice that you made. I know I'm a baby boomer, proud of it actually. I am at the end of it, but still a baby boomer. My 69th birthday is coming up here very soon, so I'm just really excited about another birthday. This is what I would like for you to think about is three things that you wish you would have had time for when you were working, but you just couldn't find time because you were so busy working. And when you were off for those probably 2 days a week, um, most likely you were running errands or, working in the yard and, taking care of family members or cooking and shopping, and it all takes a lot of time, plus maybe once in a while a doctor's appointment, things like that. But to take time for yourself, I think that is something that many of us have put on the back burner while we were working, and I hope you got out of it before you came to a point where you had nothing left, which means if you burned yourself up to the point to where you had nothing left and you don't have much left in the tank, so to speak, for yourself, which is never a good thing. So I'm hopeful that you quit and you decided to move on and do your own thing and retire, um, still having lots of energy and hopefully good health. So for myself, I can only speak from my own experience, obviously, and from friends that I've talked to. I know that I always enjoyed reading, but I never seemed to have time because I was reading reports or getting ready for numbers for a meeting or what have you. So things were always kind of really like preoccupying my mind, so to speak, to where I just didn't find time to really concentrate on reading. Plus, like I had mentioned, errands and doing all kinds of different things, attending birthdays on your days off, and so on and so forth. Once in a while, maybe having a dinner party, things like that. So for myself, it is reading for sure. I know I stepped up my game in terms of moving around because I think what we often fail to do is to stay active. I know when I think back, my father, my brothers, my sisters, uh, friends that I had, shortly after they retired, within months, they gained a lot of weight. And it was the lifestyle that had changed so much that they kind of became couch potatoes. Although there's nothing wrong with, maybe taking a month or two for yourself and do whatever you want to do, watch Netflix, watch YouTube, watch whatever you want to do and have ice cream, have some drinks, whatever. Don't wait till noon. If you don't, I'm not telling you to obviously get drunk, but enjoy life, and that's okay um, to take a little time to yourself to do whatever you want to do. Meet with people, that you haven't seen in a long time, and what have you. Try to figure out what it is that you really want to do with the rest of your life. So the three things, like I said, activity that I really started um, to increase by exercising more, going out, meeting up with people, staying active, and then of course the reading aspect of it, and the traveling that I really love. So I have, for myself, I've found that that was important to me to stay active. Although in the beginning I wasn't all that active. um, Again, I must admit that in the very beginning of my retirement, I moved actually. So the first 2 months, I was very busy finding a new location, packing up for the new location, and then actually moving to the new location. Then again, unpacking and getting settled. So I really had no excuse for sitting around for too much time. But the third month, I must say, I slacked off a little bit, and that's okay. You gotta forgive yourself for for not being so regiment with your time. It's okay to relax a bit and do whatever and waste some time as well. Why not? Now you're retired, right? So yay. Um, the second part would be the true freedom from responsibility. Um, how is that going for you? Because often what I have found for myself was that the minute I retired, all of a sudden friends and family members kind of were under the impression that I had lots of time now and I could just jump in everywhere and help everybody out. That was not really my plan when I retired. And so you might find yourself that maybe a neighbor who wants to go on vacation is going to ask you to, I don't know, water the lawn, right? Or keep an eye on their house. Maybe there's a friend who wants you to take care of their cat or the dog and what have you. And now you stuck. You can't go anywhere because you are cat sitting, dog sitting, or house sitting, right? And I'm sure that you didn't retire just to help everybody out. There's nothing wrong with helping people out, obviously, right? But you retired for a reason, I'm thinking, to hopefully put yourself first for change. And of course, there are the grandchildren, if you have them. I'm lucky to have a few. Um, yeah, and again, you might find yourself all of a sudden being put in a position to where you have to pick the children, where you expected to pick up the children from school, maybe just once or twice a week, but still, sometimes these calls can come unexpected. Other times there might be a new arrangement. And now that you have an arrangement, you really can't go anywhere far, right? Maybe for a weekend, but you really can't take a week off or 2 weeks because you have made this commitment to take care of picking up children or what have you, right? And so I do want you to make sure that you take care of yourself first and see what your priorities might become. Because often they change now that we are retired, and that's okay to put yourself first for change. Because if you really think about it, you have put everyone else first for a long time. If you have been married, you have had children, there were always other priorities, right? And you always kind of put yourself perhaps to the end of it. We all often do. Not everyone, obviously, but many of us have put other people first, and that's okay too. But I hope you didn't lose yourself. And if you did, perhaps this is a good time to figure out who you are at this point. Who are you with not having to be at work, not having all these responsibilities that are being heaped on you after now that you're retired? Or perhaps just, you know, who are you when no one really needs you? And that's an interesting question, actually. And I really would like for you to sit down with it and figure out, who are you when no one calls, no one texts you, no one's asking you for advice, no one expects you to be somewhere at a certain point, a certain time of day or week or whatever. But who are you really? And that might take you some time to figure out, because there is often this life of ours where we are being pulled in every direction. And you just kind of come up, sometimes you can't even come up for air, so to speak, right? And when you do, somebody else has an idea for you, right, on what might be good for you, what have you. But I'm thinking at this point in your life, it is a good time to figure out what it is that you really want out of your life, and who are you really when everything else has fallen away from the wayside, so to speak, and it's just you. So it's not like, okay, when you go to parties and what have you, people go like, so, what's your name? What do you do, right? So we don't want to go and say, oh, I used to do, right? Or I used to be. That was then. Who are you now? And what do you do now? If you find yourself that you have too much time on your hand, which is fine too, it's okay. You might want to do something different. If you want to volunteer and give back to the community, by all means do that. People would so appreciate it. There are many organizations where you can donate some of your time. It doesn't always have to be every Monday or what have you. You set the time. If you want to do something creative, for myself, I know after I moved and I was, I was lazy for about a month, which is fine. I forgive myself for that. I'm okay. But then for myself, I got bored. And if you are in that place where you go like, okay, now what? I don't really want to go back to work. I don't want to do anything hectic and stressful and drama at work and what have you. And if I even work part-time, maybe they pull me back into all their drama and I don't want to go there. That's fine. So do something that you can do on your own time. Like I started a YouTube channel. Hello. And I really love it because my creative spirit, so to speak, has room to evolve. My organizational skills are still intact. And then I like to think about the themes, right? To really give back to the community and hopefully help the ones who are still trying to figure things out. So, and if that's not for you, maybe you're a good cook, right? And you could write down all your recipes and create a cookbook and give that away for Christmas, as an example, or any holiday, and create your family cookbook. That's something that you could do on your computer, and you can be at the beach and work, so to speak. But this is something you want to do. There is, of course, always a way of making some money on the side. You can start with a real estate license. That's something you can do on your own time. And then when you have your license, you can sell a house every so often. That could be your travel money, as an example. Or perhaps maybe even be a taxi driver, Uber driver, right? I've met someone who was so interesting. He was from Australia, so not Austria, but Australia. And he came to this country and he said he got so bored because he was a baby boomer. He decided to take up Uber driving because he wanted to meet other people. So he said he had the most fascinating stories that he had received from others. So I'm always thinking, why not do something on your own time, even if you just do it for a day or two a week, right? So, and if you're still fit, maybe you want to take up something physical to where you want to, I don't know, like run a half a marathon. So I would encourage you, find out who you are now and what you really would like to do with the rest of your life. Because the clock is ticking. It's been ticking ever since we were born, but we all know now that we don't have a whole lot of time. So anyway, with that being said, please subscribe. It is, like I said, always free for YouTube. I come up with new ideas and new creative pieces every Tuesday and every Friday. And I appreciate your time very much. And I'll see you another time. I thank you so much. Bye-bye.